In this week's Parsha, we have the amazing narrative of Yaakov and his journeys and his successes and his struggles interrupted. Yaakov is leaving from the house of Lavan, and everything is going so well. He's wealthy, he's got his family, he's got his children, he's confronted his brother and survived. Everything's going great, and all of a sudden the Torah interrupts that with the following pasuk. Vatamat Devora meineket Rivka v'tikaver mitachat leveit el tachat halon v'ikra shamo elon bachot. All of a sudden there's a death. Who dies? Someone we've never heard of, Devora. Who was Devora? Devora was the nurse, the handmaiden of Rivka. And she was buried in Beit El underneath a tree, and the tree was called the Tree of Weeping. What is going on here? Who is Devora? What does it mean she was the nurse of Rivka? Rivka we haven't seen in the story for, hundreds of verses. All of a sudden Rivka reappears, this nurse appears, and everyone's crying. What's going on here? So to understand, we have to look at Rashi. Rashi tells us that Devora was Rivka's handmaid. She was her nurse, her nanny basically, the woman who cared for things around the house and took care of things. And that Rivka actually sent Devora to go along with Yaakov on his journeys because Yaakov was alone and he needed some help and his mother couldn't be there to help him. So Devora is a nanny. She's Yaakov's nanny. And she died. And there was great sadness and weeping when she died. You can imagine that she played a great role in Yaakov's life and in the role of all her children. And it's so striking that the Torah mentions this pasuk here and now. It's calling out to us that someone of great importance, who we may not have known their name, we may not have even known they existed, but someone of great importance died, and her loss had a great impact and great weeping on all of the household of Yaakov. Who died? It's the nanny. Who died? It's the woman, it's the person who cared for those quietly behind the scenes, but who made it possible for the family to flourish. It's the CNA, it's the nurse, it's the home caretaker, it's the health aide, it's all those people in our lives who sometimes do not get the proper recognition. But the Torah here is saying, no, they're important. They have a name. Her name was Devora. She was significant, and her loss caused great feelings of sadness and loss for the whole Jewish people. I think this is something we really need to take to heart as we face the ongoing pandemic. And just think about all those people, oftentimes anonymous, nameless, or at least to us, nameless people, who are caring day in and day out for all of us in these difficult times. And yes, that's the doctors, and yes, that's the nurses, but also it's the CNAs, the nurse assistants, and the medical assistants, and the people who clean the hospital floors, and the people who are showing up in nursing homes and in aides in people's homes to take care of those who are vulnerable day in and day out, who show up because they're hard workers, who show up because they care, who show up because someone sent them, who show up and keep us safe and protected and even loved. These people are so important, and the Torah is reminding us they have names, they have dignity, and they deserve to be treated with dignity and as human beings. So let's all really think about whoever it is in our lives, whether it's someone who takes care of an ailing parent, or whether it's someone we encountered in a hospital who swept the floor, whoever it is, all these people who care and who work and who serve. Let's really treat them with the dignity that the Torah tells us they deserve. Let's pause and recognize them for who they are. Let's treat them with respect and kindness. Let's show them that we care and we value their work, whether through words or through proper pay or all the things that we can do to show someone who works so hard that they have dignity and respect and we value and see their work. That's what the Torah is doing here. It stops the narrative of Yaakov at its height to give special attention to someone who served a family for many, many years and who died. We love them, we respect them, we appreciate them. Let's all make it our business to show all the Devoras in our life the respect and the dignity that they deserve. Shabbat Shalom.